The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another late show. Of course, with myself, Blake, the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. I got to my co-host Shannon, of course, today.
Hello.
From the Eastern Kentucky Bigfoot research team. Might have some other people from Lost Cryptids like James dropping in. Who knows? But we got a pretty interesting show for you guys, actually. Got some videos to kind of show you guys, and some stories of going out this last week and getting some interesting stuff. So pretty excited to tell you guys about that, and some more clips to show a little bit, and gonna put the link in the chat here in a little bit, and just have a fun Saturday night, pretty much. So. Hope everyone's doing well, having fun. Been a good week, and enjoying themselves on this Saturday night, of course. So we welcome everyone who's in the chat, watching the show after the fact. We, of course, appreciate that. Definitely. So anything new with you, Shannon? Anything you want to share?
Let's see. Personally, I haven't been able to do nothing because of my work schedule, but there has been a few people in my group that has went out and they got some wood knocks and found some really cool footprints. Let's see. I think they did some gifting too. I mean, I'm not necessarily much on the gifting, but I know other people are.
Yeah, I'm kind of back and forth, I guess, a little bit on it. I mean, I want to try stuff to try to get evidence, but at the same time, gifting, what people are doing, I wouldn't say that's gifting. You're trying to trick them into getting activity or evidence or interaction because, like Robert Kreider said, he said it best. Gifting would be like after you're all done camping out somewhere. You leave your gifts and you go away, you go home, and there's no trying to catch them or do nothing. You're gifting them, right? So, it could be dangerous. I know when we experimented a little bit in doing gifting, we had mixed results. We had good results and we had bad results. Bad results when we brought more people into the area, probably more pressure. That resulted in the area being changed and manipulated and stuff being trees and branches being thrown across the trail that we would use to get in, and would block us. So they didn't like the extra new people, especially new
Yeah.
faces coming in.
Yeah. I
So
can see that.
so and we didn't too much pressure on that and stuff, of course, because you never know what's going to happen. Plus, you don't want to force them out of the area and stuff too. You got to remember these things are trying to live in the wild in between us, and it's hard enough, I think, on them. And so when we're out there and we're putting extra pressure on them because we actually know about them, we're trying to find them, and we're not the average people who are oblivious. Sometimes it can probably be extra annoying, I guess. It depends on the Bigfoot,
Yeah.
because you hear stories.
I feel like you could. I don't know if it would be baiting. Because I've heard a couple stories of like people constantly gifting, and then it gets to the point where it's expected, and then whenever it stops, you get the more violent type of situations, like with something with scraps, people leaving out scraps and stuff, and then more violent things start happening towards like homes and stuff, like unintentional, but
Yeah, unknowingly too. Sometimes people just leave scraps or throw out the oil and stuff, and yeah, once you get into a pattern like that, a lot of animals, even just regular animals, can be like that. They expect it, and then when they don't have it, they get very angry um, and sometimes even starve to death because they
yeah.
are so depending on it. But Sasquatches, I don't think would starve to death, but definitely would be getting angry, and we hear about it. And a lot of these stories, I generally think at least a small percentage would have to be real, and it definitely paints an interesting picture. So, gotta be careful in what you do.
Yes.
And the real reality is, we don't really know what they are. We don't have all these interactions, and people can't really say if they're dangerous or if they're really safe. Or people claim that they wouldn't hurt them at all, but a squirrel could hurt you. Your own pet cat can hurt you, or even your dog in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a wild creature that's pretty much an apex predator out there, other than facing us. There's nothing in competition. So yeah, I wouldn't assume that they're just all friendly, peaceful forest giants. So
I wouldn't. I don't think they are.
no, definitely not. I think people need to wake up to the reality of it because it is fun, it is adventurous, and especially we want kids to and people to get into it. But at the flip of the coin is the potential. These things are pretty dangerous. They might potentially eat people or kidnap people or do whatever they want, pretty much, to a person. And if you're in the wrong circumstance or you come across I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I don't know. I'm sure maybe you've thought, what would you do if you came across a situation like that? And pretty much, unless you're going to defend yourself, and you really think you're going to have to, the best bet. What they do with great apes and gorillas, you don't look at them, and sometimes you put your arms out and you submit, and either you take that chance, or you take the chance of trying to shoot them or fight your way
Yeah.
out. What's the better chance? So I don't know. And I say that because when you put in these situations and you're around them, okay, and you're getting activity, they're around you and they're circling you, and say it goes on for an hour or two, okay, but it's like a little something here, you hear something, see a glimpse of something. They're watching you, they're studying you, and they're pretty much dancing around you because at any point they could take you out. They choose not to. And so, if something does happen to where you're angered one, you might want to submit and stuff. It's not always the option of trying to take your gun out and stuff, because that should always be the very last resort.
Yeah, definitely. What
But all means, defend yourself.
What is your opinion on like how they do circle? At least I think they do. I mean, all the evidence that I've had leads to them in multiple locate. What is your opinion on that?
Oh, it's amazing. This last experience, what we're going to get into, we took a person who's never really experienced Bigfoot stuff, but was more familiar with ghost stuff, and but basically, before we get into that, seeing them and stuff, and being and how they circle, they do it very slowly and stuff, but on all fours sometimes. But honestly, it's weird. You think as big as they are, they would make all the sound, but maybe it's the padding of their feet or the way they disperse their weight with the padding, even upright or on all fours, especially. But they go through the brush like any other animal. If you watch like a I just forgot the name of it, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, if you watch gorillas and stuff go into the brush, or any apes and stuff, it's the same way. They just go through the brush like it's nothing, and pretty much are very quiet. What it sounds like is, I call it slinking through the woods. Other people call it, they hear steamrolling. It sounds like a very soft pushing and movement. It's very hard to describe. I don't know. It's easier just to be out there and for me to hear it, and for other people to hear it and be like, this is kind of what it sounds like. If it's really happening or not, this is what I've heard that I've had activity, and it's super subtle. And basically, you're moving around and they're moving around with you and getting in front of you, especially if you're on a trail. If you're on a trail that's walked all the time and you're going to stay on the trail, sometimes they're going to predict and try to move in front of you, get up, sit up behind a tree or whatever along the trail, and wait for you to walk by, and then maybe circle around, get up ahead of you, or it depends on whatever you're doing.
Okay, what about whenever there's multiple?
Same thing. They seem to just pretty much follow you. I mean, even in the brush. We've had people in groups be out in thick brush to where, you would think you would hear it going through this brush and stuff. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you really don't. And down in Florida and stuff, when I crossed the trail and I seen it, it went directly towards the other group. And they heard kind of something walking by them, but then they really didn't hear nothing. And the thing beelined right towards them. And these other instances, when we were chasing them in our group and stuff, they were just running around us and responding to us and just keeping out of reach. Yeah, I mean, and you do hear them. You can hear them running away, and we actually have the evidence on here we've played and stuff where you hear it running away on camera, and then we go after and chase it. And we can't go after it, and then we ended up, of course, making all sorts of intimidation type of things, trying to get a response, and we got a response. And it was basically, "Oh, hey, I'm right here. I hear you." And it was pronounced and stuff, and you can hear it. And then the next night, we had stuff thrown and a big rock thrown into the creek. But we were hearing stuff, and audio responses got hissed at. It sounded really close, but we didn't see it. And we were walking through a swamp and some creek, and there was multiple ones because they were messing with other people at the same time. And I was speaking Native American stuff, and everything was pretty much cool. It seemed like they didn't like one person who was playing loud music at all. They threw a piece of firewood at the truck and stuff. But when I was with the person I was with, they they were responding to us when we were calling out to them, and they definitely were circling around us because we heard them at different times, pretty close to us at different spots. And you can watch that video. That is the Allegan videos and stuff when we went to Western Michigan. So a couple months back, I posted those.
I'll have to check those out.
All I can say is if you come out with me and we start experiencing it, then I can tell you, hey, I think it's happening. And sometimes, you start adding up especially when you get stuff thrown or get audio and see, or you see one, but to have a massive rock, and it's huge, and the person I'm with is pretty, gets pretty intimidated, and it's pretty intimidating situation because that rock that makes that big old splash, and being there is way better than the audio. I mean, if that would have landed on me or the person, we'd have been dead. That's it. One shot, that's it. And their aim is amazing. So I mean, we don't see nothing at night, and he throws it directly into the creek, and it sounds like it has some force. So they are masters of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are going out there, you have fun and stuff, but at the back of your mind too, it's not really a game in some situations or some areas, where there's missing people a lot or certain situations, man. I mean, not everyone wakes up in the best moods of days. Not everyone has the best days, and sometimes, Sasquatches have enough pressure with human waste, human pollution, human annoyances, and we're building roads and we're doing all sorts of stuff, and we're building more buildings and less woods. When you look at the areas and stuff from the 70s and stuff people talk about, and you look at the map and stuff today, it's completely different. And then I'm sure that makes a lot of them mad, and they seem pretty restrained on us. It's not like they've enacted war, or they seem to be attacking a lot of people. There's a lot of missing people, but you don't hear of a lot of attacks, right? So, and when we have interaction and other groups have these interactions, there is no reports of attacks because they seem to be pretty restrained. They mess with you, they watch you, they do whatever, but there are attacks, there are definitely threatening moments, but you know what I mean? Like, there's no, with all the encroachment and everything that's going on, and how much we probably stress them out, and how much we have to deal with them, and plus us Bigfooters are messing with them and trying to get them on film. They are very patient, very restrained. They will rather wait you out than have to push you out, or have to, they really have to mess with you. And so there's something going on. There's some dynamic, especially with the government and stuff going on. There's some dynamic that we don't know that's in place, or some type of management system going on, or something that's
definitely
that's they're following maybe, or something's going on, because I don't know. It just seems like that. I can't prove it or anything, but things are in place that the management is definitely watching and providing land and certain odd things. So
yeah.
So
I was thinking, okay, what is your? I mean, I think it's sound. What is your opinion on like mental illness in Bigfoot? Like in like different type of, like, say, bipolar disorder and depression and all that. Because I know animals, like other animals, can have issues like that. And I've always wondered if, and maybe that can account to some of the more like a bit like vicious, not vicious, but more violent attacks.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of creatures that are smart can have neurological or brain disorders and stuff. Dogs especially, we used to have German shepherds and stuff. They can be neurotic in certain ways, but awesome dogs in other ways. Yeah, and Christopher Noel kind of talks about that, coming up with the whole savant autism type of thing, and I don't know what it is. I think from what I've experienced, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like I don't think they're autistic or anything. I think they have a very good emotional control and stuff, actually, highly intelligent. Like I said, they don't really like attack people or like cold-blooded murder people or attack and terrorize and stuff like that. When people push them or people shoot at them, sometimes, they just go away. They don't, circle back around, Tigers and other animals, well, sometimes will come back around and hunt, you know. Tigers are very ruthless and stuff, and will get revenge and stuff. People and cats, especially, So there's certain aspects where they seem to have very good emotional control, which would be highly intelligent, and you know, a lot of people need to help with that, And with serial killers and depression, and do they do suicide and stuff? Do they kill their own rogue people who are causing mischief, who would terrorize us, and then lead authorities to them? What do they do with those individuals? Kill them outright or something? There's so many things we just don't know, but you would have to think there's some kind of cultural or hierarchy or system in place that keeps them from individuals from, like, growing up crappy and defying their clan and doing whatever they want and just terrorizing us. And what's stopping them from walking downtown of the city and just breaking everything? Bears do that and stuff. And if one was super fed up and just was, you're losing all your land, you're being exterminated, basically almost genocide, if it's like that, or maybe it's being managed and they're, who knows? We don't know. But like, you would think that there would be more attacks and more upheaval. And if they're dumb animals, then how come we can't just film them? We can't, just get them and stuff. Even if they were autistic, they still, we'd be able to get them on camera and stuff. They would be slip ups, they wouldn't be this highly trained proficient, unless,
Yeah.
they're super advancedly, they evolved like that. And it's not autism, it's just super hyper wild intelligence, great apes and stuff. If you can watch scientific videos of these testing of reaction time of chimpanzees and great apes, and they play this little basically game on a computer, and it's a reaction game, do, and then they redo it and stuff. And great apes reaction time is far faster than us. So basically, their perception of reality and of time space when things are happening, that's us running through the woods, they are able to analyze stuff a lot faster and make a decision and move and do whatever a lot faster than when we see something going on and our brain analyzes it. We put the pieces and puzzles together and make our bodies go. So it's maybe theorized that Bigfoot is potentially even more reaction based brain activity, and by its observation and hunting, by observing everything, watching everything, studying everything, it's able to react in a way that it's able to outpace us. It's able to determine through our facial expressions, like dogs and cats, where we're looking at, maybe how we're feeling. If they've watched us for thousands of years, and they and they're very smart. Like crows can do this. It's not like other animals haven't done it. They can read humans. They can read us, read our body language. Animals can smell us and smell fear, smell different emotions, anxieties. Pick up on brain waves. So there's a lot of things to that. But at most, I think that they can, can feel like a presence or a vibe, out there. Most animals
Yeah.
can feel whatever kind of energy and stuff. Dogs can feel sometimes bad people, or sometimes, people they just don't like. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes they don't like, like little kids and stuff too. So, sometimes they're finicky. But long story short, yeah, it just seems like there's something greater going on than this intelligent ape theory, because I think they're more like a people or a tribe or some type of in between where they're cultured to train their kids to act a certain way, do a certain things. You must never, interact with the people and stuff. Because if it was
Yeah.
animal instincts, there would be slip ups.
Yeah. No, I get
So,
that. No, I agree.
I want to answer this real quick from Northman's Keep. He's here in Michigan. Says, I was rewatching the documentary, you and Jason and the UP. Those things were following you guys, and man, Eyeshine was all over the place. Yeah, if you watch Jason's documentary that he made, part 3 and 4 is on Tubi for free, and basically it was the UP expedition, and part 4 you can see where me and him had our encounter, and then I have the full encounter on my channel as also. You can watch the full raw footage, and yeah, we basically they announced themselves to us. We walked out, changed the recorder, came back, noticed some tree manipulation that wasn't there before. We ran into it, and it was very fresh. They either just did it or they're waiting there for us to notice, possibly. We filmed it a little bit, talked about it, took a couple steps, just turned around, and we heard them make a commotion and announce themselves to us. I don't think it was a mistake, because these things. I don't think it was a mistake, because they announced themselves. I turned around and raised my gun at them because I had it, and there's bears and mountain lions, cougars, that we did find tracks of, and wolves and stuff. I pointed it at the ground, but towards their direction and stuff. And I had this very instinctual moment of clarity of, this was probably Sasquatch activity. I put my gun on my shoulder, and everything kind of went calm. And that's when, Jason, we heard some scurrying and stuff around us. So there was multiple individuals. And then Jason first seen the individual behind this tree that looked at us. And I have a pretty awesome red spotlight on a headlamp. It died before this. And Jason has some, cheap white light ones. But anyways, it was good enough for us to see them. It was not good enough for his camera to capture them. But they showed themselves to us, and another individual came out, and we were looking at them, and I'm looking around because I hear one coming, circling this way. So there's 2 of them, there's 3 of them, because we see 2, and there's one that I hear on my right side. And in the raw footage and in the video, on Tubi, wherever you guys watch it, we're walking and we walk up to them, we sing and stuff, because I want to seem friendly. We want to sing and sound friendly to them. And I'm speaking Native American. I'm saying hello, how are you? I'm telling them friend. When we walk up there, they moved away, and on camera you see the eye shine, and it's huge. It's right there. It's close, but we don't hear nothing. We don't see anything. We don't sense that it's probably 10 yards away. I mean, it's close enough that it just can grab you. But you see it in a few different shots, a few different frames as we walk away, and they follow us back to camp to get more interaction. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. So
It sounds
they showed restraint. Having a gun pointed at them, they didn't freak out. They watched. Well, this is what I think happened. My interpretation is they reached out and they took a chance at 2 people walking in the woods who they already knew what we were doing. I go out in the woods. I don't hide the fact that I'm trying to look for these things. I don't try to trick them. I was out there all week lugging my rifle all the time. I had it the entire time, so they know what guns are. They took the chance and to see whether or not we'd turn around and shoot them or whatever, freak out, do whatever. When we didn't freak out, didn't do nothing, and had tried to have an interaction, they actually it was intense. They it was looking behind the tree, and that little one, when it turned and it kind of looked at the the one standing about 8 foot tall, 7, 8 foot tall. The other one was crouched down. I'm guessing it was 3, but his head, I'm looking and stuff. So when you're looking, you can see the eyes right here. Okay, you can see the head, but when it turned, then you could see the shape, and then you get a reference of how big. The head was just massive. It's a massive, elongated looking head, and I just blew my mind. And it was a very intense situation. I try to keep my cool and stuff. Jason tries to keep his cool as much as he can. It's a very intense situation because with the, typically Sasquatches don't show themselves, right? And I'm thinking, is it a distraction? You're like, hey, look at us over here while one comes behind us and gives us a big old bear hug, and we go missing, right? Because I don't trust, I don't trust these things. I don't even trust people. Why would I trust these things out in the wild, right? So I don't do that. I try to put enough trust and faith in the Lord to keep me safe, and to try to get interaction like this. And it paid off. We got lucky, and I think they probably would remember us, definitely. And it's not, I don't know why they did. I don't know. But we tried to. I wish maybe we would have stayed out there and tried to have more interaction. But when it's just me and Jason, and it's crazy, man. And I just wanted to get them back to camp where we have a lot more equipment. There's more people, everything's set up, and they've pretty much, we were out there the entire time. So probably were around this the entire time and stayed pretty much on the fringes of the cameras and on the fringes of our site. But in a few other evidence clips, we do have eye shine. I probably can actually play one for you guys right now. That was caught. So yeah, here's one.
Mouse, no, I'm not joking. It could be a rodent,
smaller creatures.
maybe, but
So the backstory on that was Jason seen it, was crouched down. He didn't know what he'd seen, and then we were shining and stuff, and you see it. Try to hide behind the tree.
That's awesome.
That was around camp. We didn't know we captured it until we viewed the footage. And there's some other clips. Robert has a clip where he's through the woods with his IR camera, and he's scanning. All of a sudden, there's just a big old, pretty much eye shine right there, and then it's gone. And it was pretty much where we're all moving through the woods, but we aren't hearing anything that's that close. If it was a bear, if it was any other large animals, I would definitely be confident enough to be able to hear some of that stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the gist of it. We had we were out there for a week, and we had a lot of interesting stuff that happened, and we got some audio and stuff that was captured, and some pretty amazing audio actually. It was howls and tree knocks and stuff that happened during the day, and a lot of people experienced stuff, had a lot of fun. So it was a great experience. And sharing it with Jason was the best deal. So he's doing a lot. He just got back from Texas and shot his number 5 one, where they got a lot of great howls and stuff, is what it looks like and stuff. So it's awesome. Yeah, he's doing great stuff. And and Todd Parson, of course, was up in the UP with us. That's the person who took him out in Texas. So we had a lot of people there. With the She Squatchers, we had Adam Davies and Gwendolyn up at the UP. We had Robert Kreider, Lost Cryptids, of course. feel like I'm forgetting someone, but maybe I'm not. But yeah, it was awesome. Robert Carter was awesome. Had all this awesome equipment, and they got back from their New Mexico trip and seems to have got some interesting stuff. So check out them at KX Carter Expeditions, KX Expeditions, Facebook, YouTube, all that. I like to believe that in some states, the more wilderness you have, I think the percentage of them worrying about that is lowered. But places where it's rural, it's not wilderness, but it's farmland and stuff, and it's countryside, and where there's sightings, I think they're pretty restrained.
Yeah. Definitely.
I would, study those missing 401 clusters. They might not all be Bigfoot, but those are areas that are dangerous. Whatever's going on. Yeah, Michigan is a pretty good high cryptid spot. Actually, it's Michigan is something's going on. It's weird. That's why it's very weird because there's ghost activity, there's UFO activity, there's missing people. There's the Great Lakes Triangle of missing people in planes and ships. Go missing on the waters. There's people go missing on the land. It's very ancient landscape, of course. Very superstitious legends around the waters and stuff too. So it's very interesting. But we're gonna get into some of these videos. If you guys, unless you got anything else you want to ask real quick, Shannon.
Oh, no, I think I'm good right now.
Okay. Yep, and the Northman says little people too is reported through the Great Lakes region, all through Appalachia, down where you're at in Kentucky. They call them pugwudgies and stuff, and paishas and paishas. We're over here, down in Indiana, and down that way, they call them different variants too. So it's very interesting. So the backstory on this is me and my girlfriend Kirsten went to a couple hot spots the last couple weeks, and been hitting up some stuff, hit up some graveyards and different areas, and we got some pretty interesting results actually. So this is not everything, but this is just a little something, and the little backstory we'll get into. So basically, we went in this area and we started pretty much getting flashes of light or potential orbs, I guess, is what we were seeing and trying to capture, and started having potential Bigfoot activity. And she actually seen a potential juvenile crawling in some brush and stuff, and turned and actually looked at her and stuff. So it's very, very interesting. Yeah, so we're gonna play this first clip, and then we'll get into other stuff. So this first clip is why we're filming. Is me and her both seeing a huge light. I don't know what it was on the side of this trail right there. Just huge light, and so she starts filming and stuff. So this is shot on her iPhone actually, and so we actually pick up a different kind of light. So it happens at the beginning. So I'll replay it a few times and stuff. But right there,
I just picked that up.
She's referring to what just happened on camera.
All right, now start going back the way we already went.
And we're trying to scan. We're scanning and stuff. We're trying to pick up anything. That's my headlamp. But we seen the orb right about in there, in between those two trees, basically off the trail. And so we'll replay that. So it's gonna be the top right corner. You guys are gonna be looking. It's gonna like appear. Hopefully it's in screen for you guys enough. So it's gonna be right as the video starts. Look at the right side of the screen.
Starting.
So I'll just keep doing that for a little bit.
Starting.
So are you able to see that? What about people in chat?
Yeah.
Let me know. Okay. There was no bugs out either. It was like 36 degrees out at the coldest, and it was like 40 when we went out there. So.
Huh. So it wouldn't be any type of like lightning bug or.
No, definitely not.
Like
No.
that.
And that's when she's like, "Man, I really hope my camera picked that up because, we'd seen it. We've seen it too, and we're scanning for this, and so." Because we don't know what was going on. So that one is not as big as the one that caught our attention. So that was the first thing, and then we move around and stuff. We actually end up in this field, and we're walking the barrier of the field, and that is when she's ahead of me and stuff. I'm actually filming her, so I'm looking at the camera and stuff. I'm trying to find it, but I don't think I captured what she's seen. So what she said she's seen is this humanoid black creature, the size of a small child, crawling, parallel to, we're in the field, so it's parallel. It's crawling and going the same direction at us, and it turns its head, so it's like looking at her like this, and it's crawling. Looks back, and then it crawls, and it goes into the bushes and stuff, or off the trail a little bit. And, she kind of gets freaked out a little bit, and explains, what she had seen and stuff. But it was crawling in front of her for a good couple seconds. And she got a pretty good look at it when it turned, and she said that it was a rounded head and stuff. And when I told her about when I encountered the thing cross the trail in Florida, it had crossed the trail and slinked down almost like a cat, and then it turned and looked, and its head, it's a human head shape. And when I described the same motion and stuff as her, the next day and stuff, she lit up and was like, "Wow, yeah, that's what I had seen and stuff." So she potentially had seen an infant or a juvenile, I guess, a young one. And we did hear, we were in this clip, we're scanning and stuff, and at different points, me and her actually did see something. So you're probably not going to be able to see anything, but at least you'll be able to understand what was going on, because we circled and, we're trying to get him to come out and stuff. I'm trying to say my things and do different stuff. And we actually did hear some stuff. We were running audio, so we got to kind of go through that. But so we'll play this real quick.
Slowly pan around, down lower. Yep, we want good ground level. Keep going. Go back. Go that way, we might have something.
So she's filming on the iPhone, and it's only doing like 30 seconds of thing. She didn't really know that it was, for whatever reason, that was what she was doing and stuff, which is okay and stuff. But it made it easier to go on here. But she had seen something at that moment. It was there one moment, and it wasn't there the next. And a different part, I had kind of seen the same thing. I had seen something when we were scanning, and it looked like it had moved, and it was standing up. So so we were pretty much on edge and stuff, right? And I was all gets it out, because I'm thinking, wow, here we are experiencing this lights, and then here we are, potential Bigfoot activity, right? So of course my mind's racing. It's like, are they connected? What's going on? What the heck?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was intense stuff, and she had seen something, you know, and she's not making up stuff. So there's no reason to. She's not into Bigfoot stuff. She's into, like, you know, she has ghost experiences. You know, she has a lot of ghost experience. I'm gonna look at the chat a little bit. Uh, okay. Yeah, nope, nothing about that with Adam about portals or anything like that. Okay, okay. Yeah, let me show this next clip real quick. So this is the environment that the thing was crawling in. And so that's what I'm showing.
Another tunnel. Right here.
And we found a few of these, and what's, you know, I've referred to them as tunnels, and she's seen it too. You know, it was like, holy crap, it's a tunnel. And it is. It's big enough for, you know, maybe a person or something to crawl and get through there without going through all the thicket. With different entry points. And sometimes these are covered by a branch that if you move it, it's an entryway. And we've been in other places and experienced this where, you know, you move something and it's a tunnel and it's huge and there's something big going in there. And we actually went up into a crawl space where you could sit down, and we actually found a spot in this area too where you could go in there and sit down, and it's large enough for multiple individuals to lay down and lounge around in, and it's all cleared out. So that's what it was crawling through. Again, we didn't hear it like you would think a big animal would. So the pretty much the cherry on top was, you know, we're filming and stuff, and I see a light off in the distance, and it's in the treetop, and I'm focusing. She's off a little bit in front of me, and all of a sudden she screams, and she said something touched me, something grabbed my shoulder. She said something just grabbed my shoulder, and it was like you grabbed me. It was just like, you know, hard, you know, something hard, firm, just grabbed her shoulder, and she freaked out a little bit, right? But there was nothing there, and we're in the field.
Oh wow.
And so I'm filming that direction. We definitely got it on audio of her freaking out. So I don't know if I'm facing it and stuff. But it freaked her out and stuff. So everything added together, it was just like, holy crap, you know, what is going on? And she swears that, you know, something grabbed her. She freaked out and stuff. And of course I'm filming and stuff, so when I get a reaction on camera. So I don't know. So that just happened this week.
Oh,
So
wow. That's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
so the lights in the forest, we have a type of, we call them like forest spirits. So it's kind of like protectors of the forest. So possibly that, maybe that.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I wouldn't say orbs. That the video that we seen was the only one that seemed to move. The other ones were stationary, but were there and just disappeared. We actually have a picture that has a light in the tree, and then there's some type of light or some type of something there that is glowing in the field too, so that we have a picture of too. So we're working on some video and stuff, and going to show you guys. But so this was just a little taste, you know, a little taste on the live show, and I don't know, it was amazing. I think it just there's more questions than answers. I don't know. It doesn't explain anything. With just all I can say is there's Bigfoot activity along with some paranormal activity, I guess. And are they connected? Are they the same thing? It has yet to be determined. So something did grab her, though. She's very adamant about that. She, has a lot of ghost encounters and has evidence of it. Actually, we're working on stuff to show you guys there too. I'm trying to get her on too, because it'd be a lot better if she just tells you guys, right? And she can do a whole show on nothing but her stories on ghosts, and then it's just creepy. It's creepy and it's weird because the ghost stories are pretty crazy, and it's pretty high level stuff. It's not like it's just little stuff. So, and there's pictures to back it up. So, but she's not really about coming on. She doesn't care to, she come on, show her faces, tell the stories and stuff like that, and not really about going and doing all that. It's just stuff that happens, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, which is great. So yeah, we're gonna go out and try to get more stuff, and who knows. So and it seems like maybe having a female out there seemed to have more increased activity and stuff. I don't know. It was pretty intense night. I don't know.
They say that having females in your group will increase activity. I don't know if it's maybe some type of, how like pheromones and all that. Maybe something.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the Bigfoot stuff, But in general, they say even with paranormal activity and stuff, and she's basically just went out there and opened herself up to whatever was out there and stuff, and there was different feelings she was getting, and we were at the graveyard investigating. Actually, she was drawn to certain places, and we went over there and heard things. I don't know. It wasn't very definitive, but it sounded like something was right there. There's audio to go over and stuff, but I don't know. It was very interesting. So, in being out there and just open and feeling out stuff, it seemed to work and stuff. So, a lot of more experimentation and stuff we got to do, and it was pretty intense. It's hard to. I wish everyone could just be there and stuff, experience it, and or have some type of way to express the feelings and the reactions that we're feeling and stuff while we're there, firsthand, because it's intense. She said the thing that the baby, whatever it was she's seen, it said it did not give her a very good look. It wasn't like it smiled at her. It had the look of kind of like potential hatred or very high annoyance or it's just, it's just how they look. Sometimes they look like monsters. So it didn't look good, is what she said. So, yeah. Yeah, but great time. So, yeah, that was the latest encounter that we pretty much had.
Oh, sorry, I just read the last comment.
Yeah, that would be that would be a tough week, I guess. But anyways, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Actually, let me do that for you guys, and have whoever wants to come on, join us, talk about pretty much whatever, keep discussion cryptid related, but we can get off topic. Try not to swear, keep it friendly, of course, manners, behave, don't get yourself kicked off here, because that won't be good for you. Yeah, and let's just have some fun, pretty much. So whoever wants to come on, pretty much come on, talk. What's going on new with you guys? Hopefully get some researchers and stuff. It's finally spring, finally feels like summer here in Michigan. It's amazing. It's 80, 90, and the green is everywhere. Everything has changed. There's actually it's very low water level in some of the areas and stuff in swamps. So it's a very unique time to get out in some of these areas, find tracks, find spots that you normally couldn't because it was flooded. Be careful though; it's still dangerous. It's mucky, quicksand, muck, whatever you want to call it, is very prevalent in swamps. Very dangerous if you don't know what to do, how to get out of it, how to survive it, if you're by yourself, especially. So, don't jump into the mud. Don't jump off a log into the swamp mud or anything because you might go all the way down past your head. I've almost done that. So yeah, I'm telling you from experience, guys, just to be careful because it can happen. And that's why they go over there because they're a lot bigger than us, and humans typically don't live in swamps, don't really go in swamps. It's rough, it's harsh, it's not a good place to live. Water all the time, stagnant, yucky smelling bugs. So, but they love it, especially now when it's hot, summer. They're gonna cool off, get all that mud on them and stuff. They can remain cool. They're primarily going to be in those areas on the hottest parts of the day during this next season. So try to keep that in mind. Maybe where you're at is there's bodies of water, think of they got to cool down somehow. So, and that's how me and James actually had our encounter during the daytime, which was a couple years ago now, but we were out looking by swamps thinking they're cooling off, and we came across I don't know how many, multiple ones, and they threw stuff at us and barked at us and grunted, and one did an orangutan call that wasn't caught, and then James was kind of freaking out. I mean, he just was kind of getting into this, and it was a major encounter for him, so he's freaking out in that video. You can see it, and we just try to do our thing and get out of there, safely, because James didn't want to be there, and I don't blame him. So you got to take that in consideration too. I mean, when you take people out, sometimes people freak out, and they're not, they say they're ready, and then it happens, and it's like it's scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even with, I think, even with people that do have experience, I think we all get the jitters, and we get those feelings.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's human nature. I mean, in a lot of videos, I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected, but there's a lot of times where, there's sometimes I have this very bad thought of being devoured by multiple creatures, and it just pops in your head sometimes, and you're out there in the middle of the woods. It's like, not the best thought to have, but you just kind of got to shake it off, and the reality of it is if it happens, it happens, but I've had pretty good experiences where they're pretty calm, cool, collective. I haven't came across any bloodthirsty ones yet, but there's other things out there too I know to be aware of. You guys should be aware of too. There's other cryptids that you guys need to. Honestly, if you guys even don't believe it, honestly, you guys just should be guarded out there, because we're humans. We're weak against normal animals. We're not thick-skinned. Our bones are not dense like every other animal on this planet. We have to make tools, and modern humans are very complacent, and we're not skilled and proficient in woodsmanship and being in nature and hunting and stuff. Now, I mean, a lot of people like to say, but we're nothing compared to what we used to be, even 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and so forth. So they live out there all the time, thousands of years. So it's like a pawn going up against a chess master. So links in the chat, guys. Whoever wants to jump on, please join us. If not, that's okay too. But it'd be cooler if you guys did. A lot of people don't like to believe in Dogman, and I never took it seriously till I seen a canine cross the road, and then it stood up and ran like a human. And my girlfriend Kirsten seen it too. It's out there, whatever that is. I don't know what it is. All I know it was real. It ran across the road. It was a wolf, and it jumped on its hind. It stood up and ran like a human. I don't know. That's it, man. So that's out there. That's not up in the wilderness of the UP. That's not up in Canada. That's here in Lower Michigan. That could be anywhere in America. That could be anywhere out 10 miles, 5 miles outside of a city in the farmland. 2 miles. I mean, it's not something special. So what are we dealing with? Are these cryptids related? Is the veil lifting? Is that what it is? Is it the veil is lifting and these entities are not what we think they are?
I have not, I guess, a theory. I think maybe some of them are the same cryptids, and we're just putting them on different scales, on different. I'm still, because I've never experienced Dogman, for myself, so I don't know. But I don't know. I think sometimes maybe it's Skinwalker. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Skinwalker sightings for those, or
yeah.
I don't know.
If you look at the legend, that's what they kind of say, and those things are evil as evil can be. But there's some dog soldiers stories of Native Americans basically doing the same kind of stuff, but going to war, not necessarily being evil or potentially being sect of people who are more aligned towards good, even though they said witchcraft. That's what it is, witchcraft. And skinwalkers are witches using evil witchcraft, which is whether you're Native American culture or medieval culture or Saudi Arabian or in China or Japan. Witchcraft is evil. Witchcraft is evil witchcraft. It doesn't matter which culture, right? And so that's what they said, and they tell you what you have to do to obtain these things, and it's brutal, and it's universal too, which is very odd and scary. It would be scary if that's what's going on with all the cryptids and UFOs and ghosts. If it was all this dark magic, let's say, a mass deception, let's say.
Yeah.
Right. It'd be impossible to believe in stuff, and when the deception and the veil was truly lifted, the whole human race's mouth would probably drop.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I feel like everything's. I've been having a lot of mental. I guess trying to think of things in new perspectives. I guess that's what I would say. So I don't know. I've been thinking a lot, and there's just. I don't know. You know how it is.
You can go down a rabbit hole, yeah.
Yeah.
You go down a rabbit hole, and it's just wow. There's actually reports that have been made that these Bigfoot creatures were actually robots or animatronic android type of creatures. That they were actually a robot underneath and not a flesh and blood creature, which is even more out there than like the paranormal woo side, like, right? You know, it's a android type of robot running out there that someone made, which was, you know, interesting.
Huh. I never heard of
Yeah.
that one before.
It's out there. It's, you know, it's taken seriously enough to been of recorded by an individual who studies this stuff. I'm not gonna name his name, but
I know
I
who you're
respect him and
talking.
stuff.
I know who you're talking about.
There's, you know, and there's, you know, of course, the alien stuff, right? You know, Bigfoot's getting inside UFOs and stuff like that, being dropped off, stuff like that. I mean, people see all sorts of things, orbs transforming into orbs, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it go from Bigfoot to orb or anything like that. I've seen stuff in the same area, but that doesn't mean that it's the same creature or it's related. Could be something to do with the land. It could be do something if it's spiritual. You know, they could be okay. It's different spiritual entities and stuff that would be out there too, but not. I you know, not impossible in my belief system because yeah, I'm a Christian and stuff, but it talks about spirits and stuff. So, you know, it's a God being a spirit, so the living spirit. Not to get too biblical, but you know, we're going down the rabbit hole, and so
Yeah.
everything's pretty much coming out. So yeah, anyone in chat, you know, questions and stuff, and the links in chat if someone wants to jump on and stuff. The more brains we get up in here, we can discuss stuff and have different opinions thrown at the dartboard. So, but we'll do a shout out to the West Branch, Michigan Bigfoot Conference, hosted by Phil Shaw, and they just had that today and stuff. They did a pretty good program up there. I didn't go and stuff, but from what I've seen and stuff, and from friends and stuff, Gabe, they all did a really good showing up there and stuff. So shout out to them. Hopefully they're out in the field getting some research done, getting some evidence. It'd be nice to get some stuff coming out from Michigan. And so I know I'm going to be out in the field next weekend, either doing solo or my two comrades, James and Tyler, are going to join me, at least for a night or something. But there's a low-flying helicopter flying over now.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but yeah, it's flying really low. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, we're gonna be off trail and pretty much off trail, trying to get far as back as we can in the area with some sightings and some experience. So hopefully we get something. I think I'll be out there at least by myself for one night, or if they don't show up, I'll be by myself the whole time. So out there filming, and I'm not sure if I'll have a fire or not. If it's warm enough, I might not have a fire, but maybe. So we'll see.
I know I went out, or we went by the swamp, and over here at our lake, I don't know. I guess it's a lake. I don't know. It's like it's really big. You know, Cave Run, maybe.
Yeah, in Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, that's where it was at. And I noticed I haven't saw too many like animals out in the last bit, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's always something to keep an eye on too, especially if you know the area has animals. It could be a sign, because these things eat. uh, I think they eat a lot of plants, though. I think they supplement
Yeah.
their diet with meat, but they definitely eat a lot of deer. Uh,
Mhm.
I've actually found a deer carcass that looked like it had its neck broken. It was gutted, but there was nothing missing and stuff. There was no guts really. There's no guts missing, and the meat it was all like scratched up and cut up,
Huh.
and it had ripped fur. It was ripped and stuff. It was very weird and stuff. It was. I either chalk it up as either someone literally mutilated the deer on purpose, or potentially a Sasquatch. And I sent it to other people, and they pointed out that the neck is really broke, and
Yeah.
so if it fits their description of potential Bigfoot stuff. And then there was other deers and stuff that I've seen. I've seen in hunting groups where the deer's neck is like twisted 2 times
Yeah.
around, and it's like wow.
Yeah. I think that's how they um like ambush. I think that's something that they do so it goes down a lot quicker.
Yeah, they snap the neck, and that's pretty much takes everything out. I mean, you die pretty much just instantly. At least your body does, if not your brain.
Mhm.
They find humans like that. People don't like to, there's no recorded deaths. There's things. That's not true. There's newspaper clippings all through the 1950s that you can find of
Mhm.
farmers being found with broken necks and guns being bent in half. I'm sorry, but a bear
Yeah.
doesn't bend your gun in half and break your
Nope.
neck. And uh, there was a lot of reports of that going on, along with potential kidnapping and stuff. Here in Michigan, there's actually a number of reports of Bigfoots attacking people all through the 1900s, actually. So there should be some in other states, especially in local small towns newspapers.
Yeah.
If you actually looked at the old libraries or old record keepers, because it's all public information usually, especially at the libraries, you can ask and get permission and look at their archives. There's potential a lot of unfound news articles of Bigfoot and whatever else cryptids going on in developing states. So
That's
I know some people are actually doing that right now, looking and doing that.
that's kind of down the little rabbit hole I've been going down because I've been trying to connect like kind of like the not necessarily I guess it would be evolution, but the adaptation from back then because the sightings and the how we have like the news articles and even like with our grandparents stories, it's more of a vicious type of animal compared to like today. The I guess the adaptation. I guess I guess they're adapting with us and evolving with us.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, alongside of us, to survive. This theory that humans played a role in this megafauna extinction by hunting them, which is debatable, but there's no debate that humans definitely were proficient hunters, and we killed pretty much whatever, from the tallest mastodon and mammoths to whatever else, other humans, right? So, uh, it seems like they potentially seen what was going on or seen the threat that we posed to them and evolved, and it moved into areas where we didn't go, or we really potentially didn't hunt too much, and they evolved alongside of us to coexist, but also there was competition there. The natives talk about interaction, but also warfare. Uh, so evolved to avoid humans, but to know and watch us, to know, to observe us, to know how we are, to study us, to better to survive. They would be able to pick up on our body language, facial expressions, things like that, our mannerisms, potential language, right? What association of words, right? Animals can do that. Your dog does that. Your dog doesn't know what you're talking about, but he understands the word set. He understands what you want him to do. He doesn't understand English. He doesn't understand what you really mean. He knows what you want through association of the word. But although there's this, you ever see these dog videos of them pushing those buttons and there's those phrases, and it does seem like they understand a lot more than what we think. So it just proves and points to that if the potential of other animals and even higher level animals of understanding phrases and words and mannerism and emotions and tones of humans. And you hear the mimicking, they mimic the names, so they they associate, they know your name, they know to call out to you, and you respond to it, right? So there's some association and high intelligence going on, nefarious or not. But to study us humans, and modern humans now, so I like using this example as they find private property, a farmhouse, right? Say a new couple moves in there and they study this family for the next 40 years. They know their habits from day in to day out, probably every single month. They know at least generally what they're probably going to do. And they probably know that that farmer and that family don't go into this section of the woods practically ever. That's a safe area for us to always be at. The likelihood of this person doing anything out of the norm is highly unlikely. Humans have generally a routine. So, if the family dies, new family comes in, the routine is disrupted. Now these new humans say, maybe their kids are a little bit younger and they're outside playing all the time. Now the Sasquatches, the area's changed, but now they're watching these people and watching how they go. And now they watch these kids grow up and watch them drive dirt bikes and all around, and they're learning all this stuff by watching these different families or houses and us interact. So who knows what they're learning, right? And then they look in the windows of people and they watch us eat dinner. They watch our family moments, right? Intimate hugging, intimate kissing. I mean, crying, fights, dinner, watching the TV. I mean, who knows what they really understand and what they actually think. If they were bloodthirsty monsters, I think, we would just discover them. But who knows what they actually can understand and are grasping and are able to communicate with us. It'd be amazing. But maybe I'm giving them too much credit too. I don't know.
I mean,
could be.
That's a good point, though. If you think how far we've came in the last even 50 years, not even 100, last even 20 years. I mean,
yeah,
we're definitely not the same. We're not the same as we were.
Yeah, by far.
And I feel like maybe that can contribute to some of the, I don't know, it's just, I'm just connecting things that are not necessarily, I don't know. I'll figure it out and then I'll let you know. Because
Yeah.
I'm still.
You're going down this rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
It's a great expression. I actually like that expression, and I've been using it a lot because there's just so much dynamics and so much puzzle pieces that, the problem is we just don't know what they are. So we don't know what the potential of everything is that comes with it, of what they are. And it could be everything. It could be really nothing. It could be super simple. Like they are just a super intelligent great ape that just doesn't want to be around us. They're just shy. It's not like, and maybe they're not super intelligent. They just are super adept at hiding and staying away from humans because we are a threat to them. I would be maybe a little disappointed, but you know, it wouldn't be too bad. The potential for interaction is there. You know, if there are people, which I think they are, of understanding and language, they have their own language, customs potentially, and social structures, social dynamics, group social dynamics. I mean, you're talking a lot of stuff. Highly intelligent creatures. I mean, then you open like Pandora's box of just, well, how intelligent are these things if we really communicate with them, you know? Or what, you know, say they're an ancient people with potential knowledge or just potential history of their own culture. That in and of itself would be a gold mine of the science of everything, you know. You would have a living relic of ancient past that would be able to tell us at least their own history and history of their land and stuff like that. I mean, there's a whole host of things that can open up, not just this unknown animal or cryptid. You know, if there's culture there, then there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's.
A lot.
I guess that's another rabbit hole that.
Yeah, and you know, it might be simple caveman level intellect of culture, but it would be a living fossil type of relic, you know, relic hominoid,
Yeah.
hominin. We don't know what they are. So, what do you guys think in chat? You know, do you guys lean towards more flesh and blood, lean to the woo side? Are they people, animal? Are they UFOs, interdimensional creatures from the spaghetti monster? You know, are they the Nephilim? Are they demonic entities? You know, that would be very scary, right? That'd be a party. that would definitely break the party up. That would not be fun. I would not really want to go out there and go out there interact with anything that was evil or anything like that. You know, that's not something I want to do. So, and that goes along with if you take everything that we said, basically, for the most part, and take out the word Bigfoot and add in ghost, it's the same thing. You don't know what that is. There's too many unanswered questions. You take in out of that, you put in UFOs, it's the same thing. You don't know what's going on. There's too many unanswered questions. You really don't know what they are. You really don't know all their capabilities. You don't know what it all is, you know. There's a lot of parallels between a lot of things, you know, Bigfoots and ghosts, you know. You're out there trying to communicate with stuff that you really don't try to see, you don't understand. You're getting a little bit of vague responses. You know, you're getting just enough to keep going, but you don't get enough to get any answers to what the true entity is that you're interacting with. Right? Is it something that's making you think that it's a Bigfoot, or is it an actual Bigfoot, right? Because people who believe in ghosts, right? Well, how do you know you're interacting with a ghost or like a poltergeist or something beyond a normal ghost? Or how do you know it's a ghost? Why couldn't it be an alien? Right? I mean, you don't know. You don't know what it is. Could be some time. It could be something that's residual energy. That's a replay. You know, what is that? That's not even. How could that be considered a ghost? You know, isn't that more like energy of the surrounding area and stuff? How could that be? So when you keep investigating it, you don't get answers. You get more questions, right? I mean, how many years has it been since study of paranormal and another thing which was pointed out, which is a lot of this, you know, Bigfoot, some of this woo side and stuff, if would be considered almost like occult stuff. You're looking into the occult type of, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, it'd have been the same thing. You're looking into the occult type of stuff, with ghosts and these unknown magical things that are going on, or cryptids, stuff like that, or unknown creatures. So we got Swift Rage in there. You're gonna be joining us there, little James. I don't know what you're doing and stuff. Hopefully you can join us. If not, it's okay. We got SOCOM Smith in the house. Nice to see you. I mean, that's the ultimate rabbit hole is, if they're otherworldly entities or they're something else masquerading as a Bigfoot.
Well,
Because what do you do? You always go out there, you're always like going after them. And so it's like you're becoming into this false security, a false sense of what it is, but honestly, you have no idea what it is or its intentions.
yeah, and then that could go in with like the paranormal, like the ghost and all that. Because, well, getting into ghosts and demons and all that, because demons will try to um, trick people, like showing themselves as little girls and all that. But really, they're evil entities.
Exactly. So what's stopping that? Say, if people, believe in ghosts and stuff. I mean, I've had ghost experience. What's stopping, say, an entity from tricking you to thinking that it's a Bigfoot? And you're having Bigfoot interactions out there, right? Because, you're hearing something walk around you, you don't see it. You're having stuff thrown. Ghosts throw stuff, right? There's stuff like that. Or you pick up something on audio and, right? There's some, or you see something and it disappears, right? So there's some parallels, not necessarily saying Bigfoot's a ghost, but there's some certain parallels that it's relatable. It's very interesting how, even if it's totally different, that maybe we're going about it the same way, the wrong way, or it seems to be parallel studies of different things, but it's kind of, we're kind of doing the same thing. The way you look for ghosts is kind of the way you look for Bigfoot, kind of too, is what they do. It's not much different.
No, not really. Other than, just different equipment, and then, I mean, ghost, you approach them different, but,
Well, you call out to them, you try to interact with them. You're in a house, but you're in a different setting. And,
yeah.
I mean, some say, I've heard some people say that when you're summoning spirits, right? When you're doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say that just what's going on with the Bigfoot thing is you're out there and you're summoning spirits by your actions, I guess.
Oh my god, I just had a. So you'll do knocks with paranormal, and you'll do knocks with.
Right, you're like inviting stuff, right?
Oh my god. No. And I'm going to go down another one.
Well, as there's some creepy stuff, and there's Native Americans who say they're spirits, right? They were spirit guardians, or a spirit is spirit, ghosts are spirit, right?
Oh my
and these are
god. Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. Skinwalkers whistling, Bigfoot whistling. I don't know if ghosts do any type of whistling, but knocks with Bigfoot, knocks with ghost. Okay, now I'm just a little bit. Now I don't know. Now I'm.
Oh, what am I doing?
Oh. Couple things to talk about if you're interested. I don't know where he went, but what is the couple things you want to talk about?
I don't know what happened, but I'm back. I posted the link in chat, and all of a sudden it kicked me out. So, yes, that's for Northman's Keep. Come on. If you got a few things to talk about, we'd like to hear about it. But yeah, there's parallels to it, right? It's very deceptive sometimes, but it's some things I think about, especially with this last experience where she had been touched by something that I didn't see. It was in between her and me. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see it. There's lights. There's stuff. There's stuff. I don't know. Just, been down that rabbit hole lately. So. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Was it ghosts and stuff, or was it a cloaked Bigfoot, or? All right, so here we got the Frozen Northman's Keep.
How's it going, Blake and Shannon?
Hello.
Doing good, man. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. I was on Reddit, I was thinking about how Bigfoots have eye shine, and there was an anthropologist that actually came on there and did a whole like a whole breakdown of it about Bigfoot eye shine, and he was explaining that like there's no primates that have the type of eye shine that would work at night. So if Bigfoot was alive, it wouldn't be a primate. That's basically what he said. And he was just, I could send you the link, and he just was like breaking it down and everything like that. So I just thought that was kind of interesting.
He's wrong.
I disagree.
No, we actually do have examples. We have monkeys in South America that are primates that have night vision, that are evolved along the same neural path, the same way that owls have night vision. Those primates have night vision. So that is actually not true.
Right. No, I remember when we talked about that.
Yeah, I've said this before and stuff, but
yeah. So which so they have, because he was explaining about the lapis durum or whatever in your eye that basically, like, I think lemurs were the last to have it, to have like a eye shine like a like a cat or a dog at night.
There's living monkeys right now in South America. I don't know their names, but you can look it up. And there's other examples of this primate night vision that evolved alongside of owls. It's the same setup, basically.
I mean, that's really interesting.
Yeah. And so the potential is there, from what I've experienced and captured, that eye shine that is reflecting off those light. That's nocturnal night vision.
Right.
In the animal kingdom. So.
Right.
Very huge mirror that's reflecting that light.
Yeah. Right.
So I think they got night vision, or are able to see.
We've definitely seen that way, right? And have you ever heard of the predator, Neanderthal theory, that they were like a super predator?
Yeah, I've seen that. Theory and
how
stuff.
They talk about their eyes, they enlarged eyes, and they hunt at night, things like that.
Neanderthal wasn't too big though. They were only like 5'5" and stuff. They generally were not that big, actually.
Right. But what primate is besides
there's
besides the Billy ape?
No, there's the one. It's I can't remember their name. It's I was just looking at it the other day. It's about 7-8 foot tall. It's like Hydrogentalbargensis or something like that. Butchering his name. There's one, I think, somewhere along there. It's a good size for Bigfoot and stuff. They were pretty developed caveman type of hominin.
I think I don't know if I'm hearing you right. It's like Homo heidelbergensis.
I believe. I could be wrong. It's one of those out there. that fits definitely more of a Sasquatch type of build by far. They say they were kind of more obviously human, modern like, but we don't know. Those are artist renditions. I mean, honestly, you used to think dinosaurs, were scaled up creatures and looked certain ways. Now we do know that a lot of them had feathers. A lot of them looked different. And a lot of those dinosaurs have went through changes of how they actually physically looked in the artist renditions, and now they look completely different than what they did 50 years ago. And now they think T-Rexes had feathers. And the potential, I've seen people talk about their little claws are, if you invert them, they're like chicken bones, which they would have had wings, like chicken wings. Almost like giant chickens, which is just a theory, but they are finding that they're more bird-like than reptilian and stuff. So
yeah, that's insane. That's pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, what can we really know about something that old? It's just a constant flux of like new information about it.
that's what theories are. It's just ever evolving ideas and stuff. They get changed and challenged, and new stuff comes along that's better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the prevailing theory in anthropology is that Neanderthals actually developed from Homo heidelbergensis. They actually, evolved from that, but who knows?
Yeah, there's they say the human tree and stuff, right? It's more like a bush. There's just so many different lines and spots and stuff. There's a lot of things going on. Little people, the little people of Indonesia, they are the Hobbit. They were totally different than us and totally different lineage and stuff. That is amazing. It was proven real. A real little people that lived up to like 10,000 years ago, or potentially survived. Until now, they still have reports of those things over there and other little cryptids too.
Well, when I saw little people, I wasn't even that far from like the city. Like I was, where Whitmore Lake is? It's about 12 miles north of Ann Arbor. I was in the reserve in the.
You're in a spot where people would laugh and be like, "There's no way there's Bigfoot there." Little people,
dude, yeah,
but there is.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what I saw that day. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, why don't you go into the story? Why don't you take us through the whole thing for us?
All right. So it's like I explained this to people, and it's just like, what, But so I was actually there to, look for Bigfoot sign. And I was finding it. I was finding displaced limbs that were like lodged into the ground and then made into like an A-frame, but not like a shelter thing, just like a couple, here and there, and just like there was a displaced limbs like 3 in a row stacked in like a circle that I found and stuff like that. I had the evidence of it. My phone broke that had that footage. But anyway, so I was actually leaving at this point in time, and it was November 18th at like 4:15. I called my stepdad right after it happened, but so I know what time it was. It was snowing. It was like one of the first snows of the year, November 18th. So I was leaving because the sun was actually getting kind of low, and I was starting to get like a creepy feeling, and I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here, So I'm walking, and I'm recording to my right with my cell phone, and I thought like bushes were moving, like where the tall like weed grass or to my right.
It's just tall grass.
It looked like something was moving through it, right? And I was like, oh shit. So I was like getting ready to like go because it was moving fast. I was like, what the hell is that? And it like freaked me out. So I turned to start running. So as soon as I start to run and I'm taking steps, right? All of a sudden around the bend, Spock saw like 3 little humanoids, whatever the hell. And I thought they were kids at first, and they had these what I would call like a canoe paddle in their hand. What looked like they were off-white color. They all had them holding them in their hand, and they were holding them like this. And then the first one was jumping up with it in the air, like when I first seen him, and I was saying like, oh, like what the hell are kids doing? I'm like, hey kids, you know what I mean? And as soon as I'm saying it, I'm looking at them like, what the hell are those? I couldn't even finish saying hi. I was just frozen, and then they kind of stuck their things at each other, turned to their right, so I'm a little bit up on the hill on the trail, and they're down right where kind of like the bend is, where you wouldn't be able to see them if they just like went back on the trail, you know. And they stop, they start poking those sticks at each other, and I had like I zeroed in right on what they were holding in their hand, and I'm like, what the hell what are they doing, you know? And then the one that's closest to me turns back and looks at me like this, and then they all freaking jump into the forest off the trail.
So, how tall would you say they were? You said they looked like kids.
Yeah, maybe like 3 feet.
What'd they look like? Were they dressed in like clothes, like modern clothes? What were they?
You know,
Fur?
at first I thought one of them was wearing something on its head. Not the closest one to me, but the one behind him. But okay, so the visibility wasn't like 100% the best, right? It's not that like I didn't see them. I definitely seen them for a good couple seconds, right? But like everything that was happening, I was so shocked. I couldn't really like I'm trying to remember exactly what they looked like, and they kind of looked like little Native American people to me. Like if I really, really think really deep, and I sit there and I'm like, when he looked at me, I seen a dark hair, dark features, but skin that's tan but not real dark. You know, it was so
Yeah,
weird, man. It was
it's
mind-boggling. It's
right.
got
So,
me in damn Bigfoot hunt, you know, ever since. So
what about the paddle thing? You said it looked like a paddle, but what do you think it was?
well, actually, I spoke with a couple people. Some people were thinking maybe it's like a boomerang for hunting, something like that, or you know,
An atlatl tool, which is it's a thing you hold. You put a spear. It's a shaft. You put a spear. It's grooved, and you would throw it. It's basically a leverage.
yeah,
You throwing a spear with a leverage tool.
I think that actually maybe that could have been it.
They use it in Australia a lot.
Yep,
But
Australian Aborigines.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. Instead of throwing it with your hand, you use this tool, and it adds leverage power, and you can throw a lot farther and more power. So
right.
that would be interesting if it was that or whatever it was, some type of tool,
Yeah,
culture tooled system. You
trying
know,
to for it was about. Let's see. You won't be able to see how big it is with them. I can't describe it to you, but it was like, fuck, I don't know. Sorry, excuse my language, but I'm trying to miss it like maybe a foot and a half the size of it, or maybe like a foot, you know.
was it hanging? Like did they have like a pole? Was it
They
hanging
holding
off
it
it,
like
or were they holding the paddle thing too?
they were holding it like this, like you know, like if you have a pitchfork, like that, like right here, you know, right at their chest, kind of. And it was strange. I don't know what the heck they were doing, man.
And then they jumped into the bush and
They didn't make a sound either. They were like totally silent, not a pin drop, nothing, just straight silence.
yeah, if it was normal human kids, they'd be laughing, and you'd
Yeah,
be able to hear them running
it was
away. You
very
know, they're
eerie.
not
It
gonna
was
get away
very
like
very
that.
eerie, man. Very eerie, because there was no sound, nothing, and I was like, everything felt off when I realized that they're not kids. Everything felt off, and I was trying to get them on camera as they were turning. You know, to once they kind of stopped looking at me. You know what I mean? When they were jumping back into the forest, and I was just so freaked out. I couldn't even. I was just like, ugh, I don't need to get them on camera. It's all right. You know what I mean? I was just
Yeah, like
tripping out.
what is that?
Yeah, I was tripping out. It was pretty crazy.
So I've been thinking about your like your story and stuff and your encounter.
Yeah.
And okay, so have you ever heard of like the Fae?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you think? Because this is another rabbit hole. I'm on a couple of them right now.
Yeah.
Do you think little people are connected to that? To
Oh.
like the fae fairy tale
It felt magical
lore?
when it was over, and as it was happening, it was very eerie and trippy type of like.
Because a lot of people that's had encounters with it say they feel like they are like not necessarily paralyzed, but like frozen in fear.
I was 100% frozen in fear, and I was equipped with a camera, a good camera, but a good camera phone, shoots like 4K quality, and I couldn't get them. They froze me. It was almost, I don't know if when he looked at me, he like affected me to where I couldn't get him on camera, because when I was realizing to get him, I literally in my brain said, "Oh, you don't need to get him on camera. It's okay. I swear to God."
Well, see, there's a lot of people that are saying the same thing that you said.
That's the honest God truth, man. I never believed in mind speak or anything like that, but that's what happened to me.
Because I'm wondering if it's something to do with that, like spiritually, and that's why.
I am a pretty spiritual person, but what I mean, I never believed in like mind speak to where like a Bigfoot could speak to you in their mind.
Yeah.
I never abid by that. I try to take a flesh and blood approach because, I've seen enough evidence for them to be flesh and blood in that sense. But the little people encounter did feel pretty magical. It did feel kind of eerie, magical. And then when it looked at me and I was trying to get them on camera, and then that thought came into my head, "Oh, you don't need to get them on camera. It's all right." And that was right. So right before that, I had the thought of, this is like, top secret stuff. Like this is crazy. I need to get it on camera right as they're leaving. But then when the dude looked at me, that's what you don't need to get them on camera. It's all right. I swear. That's the truth.
I find that interesting. Looking into the little people, the Paishas is what they were called here in Michigan, Pugwudgies and stuff.
Yeah.
Northeast and Canada and stuff is what we famously know them as. But Paisha was a name around here, Great Lakes region, along with Pugwudgie. But
yeah,
they said that they had like hypnotic powers and stuff. They had magic powers to sometimes go invisible, but to put you in like a hypnotic state, or just trick you in a way.
Oh, I was
dumbfounded. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I would have never believed that. But what I experienced, "Oh, you don't need to get them on camera. It's okay." That's what came into my head after I was trying to get them on camera.
It's like a Jedi mind trick. You don't need to get them on camera.
100%, 100%. And I didn't get them. They got away.
Camera it does fall along with
was right here, man. Like right here, just to the right of them, like barely to the right of them.
Yeah, damn.
I wish I could have got that. I really do. I done goofed.
Well, you've seen them once, and they're there. If they're there once, they're probably there again in surrounding areas.
Yeah,
I where do they live? Where are they going?
When I actually went into that little, where they went, I came back to that area in the winter, and I went, and there was a lot of heavy tree fall and stuff like that. I was trying to traverse it. I made a video, I was in the video, and I was like, this is like hard to get through. There's all these damn trees all over the place, and fallen trees. I was like, wow, this is really actually hard to traverse where they went. So it's kind of interesting.
Right. I mean, you said they look like Native Americans, they have some type of tool or technology, which would definitely put them up there in intelligence. Yeah. Where are they sleeping at? They're not making fires and teepees out there, right?
Well, I've heard the theory.
They got little villages, or
this is a really good question, and I've heard the theory from an old groundkeeper from the Eloise Asylum in Michigan. The Eloise Insane Asylum that's now like a tourist attraction. Back when it was in like up and running, I don't know if it's 70s or 80s. Somebody very close to me, I'm saying I don't want to bring them up, but somebody very close to me had told me that the groundskeepers told them, the man and the woman at the cemetery groundskeepers, that little people come around there at night and they live under the ground. That's what they told us. Everybody thought
they live under the ground. Yes, that is a recurring theme with little people, is they live underground.
It's an easy way out too. It's one of those things where oh well, of course they're under the ground. That where else could they be? We don't see them on the land. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh
Right,
yeah.
right, exactly. Leprechauns, gnomes, fairies. Fairies sometimes
Oh,
live in
they're
trees or in
real.
rocks.
I never believed it. I never believed that. I swear,
The
I
fae.
never believed it. But now I know. I'm a knower, not a believer anymore. You know, it's, I went
Yeah,
from
like they had.
non-believing to being a know. You know, like no belief to full knowledge.
And that's what a lot of people need. That's what happened with me and Dogman. I thought it was, yeah, Dogman. Okay, sure. I mean, I've experienced ghosts and UFOs, but seeing is believing. Seeing is like, okay, confirmation. Then you have to either make the choice of lying to yourself or knowing. So
Right, Shannon. I have a question for you.
Hmm.
I know that you're from the South and you've heard about little people probably many times, and you looked it all into it. Hey, do you ever find that they're always carrying something like some type of stick in their hand? That's something that was a recurring
Um,
theme when I was listening to encounters after I had seen the little people. I'm like, who the hell else have seen the little people? You know, so I'm like digging, and I every time, like almost every time, they're carrying something in their hand.
I don't know. I haven't heard any. You're the first one I've heard about carrying something in their hand.
That's interesting.
Now, another one, it wasn't from anywhere. I think it was up like the north.
Um,
Um,
Illinois. I heard of an encounter in Illinois and Indiana.
I'm not sure. It was a woman. Um, but she had the one she saw had something on its head, and it was a female one.
Yeah, a very close person to me, one of my family members, had also seen the little people one night, and he said that they were dressed uh, like like really weird, colorful clothing. That's what he told me,
Hmm.
and they were jumping on rocks. And this was in North Carolina. I don't know if you know where. You're from East Kentucky, so it's kind of far, but it was an area called Barnardsville, which is pretty rural. It's like up north of Asheville.
I know where Asheville is. I don't know where.
Yeah, it's just north of Asheville, like up in the
Okay.
mountains.
Okay. And then my grandmother, like, she talked all about them. So.
Yeah, this other person that was close to, I think I told you guys this. One of my family members was a school teacher, college educated school teacher. She swore by it that they took them out and they took animals out from them. The little people were taking out the horses at night, weird stuff. And she was like, "No, they're real, and that's it. I don't care what anybody says." So,
yeah, taking the horses out and playing with them is what they would say, right? Or
yeah, I heard they told me that when I was a kid. I never believed in that at all. I'm like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay." You know, I thought it was cool, but I never believed it. Now I'm just
that.
tripped out about it. I'm like, what the? Oh, man, truth is
Yeah, it is
stranger than.
trippy, man. I mean, I don't know what to think. I want to believe. I do believe you. I know there's stuff out there, and there's a lot of correlations between the European little people and Native American
Oh,
little people. They
oh
live
yeah.
underground. They have these magical abilities. They
Hmm.
take out and play. They play tricks on people, and that's a universal thing. Is this trickster thing comes up with little people? Is they play tricks on you, or they
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 beat
love
me.
mischief.
I had them right in my sights. I had them right there. My phone was about a couple inches away from making history. That's
Yeah, it
and they
began
said
something good, man.
I don't know what they did to me. Jedi mind tricked me. Oh, you don't need to get this on camera. It's all right. That's exactly what was told in my head. Whoever was saying it, myself, however it happened, I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and people, people don't like to do the mind speak thing. They don't like to think about it, but
I don't either. Every
you,
time I
you can
hear
look
it,
at the
I'm like, oh, I don't
studies
want to hear
done
it.
about psychics and the telepathic thoughts and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and with animals and stuff. But there's a lot of people in the Bigfoot community who say they've got mind spoke to, and you'd be surprised of some of these big names. Bobo Fay. He says he got mind spoke. Sometimes he doesn't tell the story too often, but he does say that he was going to take a picture of a Sasquatch. He was going to do it, and he got mind spoke and said, "If you take this picture, you're going to die." And he
Oh
didn't take
yeah.
the picture. Okay.
I've heard of that actually.
So
Yeah.
I found that pretty credible. I don't see why he would lie about that and be super
Yeah.
serious on a lot of other things. He's super serious about
Yeah.
So
Les
so
Stroud. Les Stroud.
Left Stroud was another one, right?
Yeah.
Claims you had some type of mind spoken thing or interactions, and
I'll tell
uh,
you what. I never believed in it, but whatever happened to me, I would call that mind speak. Like if it existed, it would probably be something like that, to where you're actually focused, trying to get these things on camera. Once you're kind of snapping out of it, like you're in La La Land, looking at them, and you're like, "Oh, I need to get it. This is huge for history." That's exactly what's going through my head. This is huge for history. As I'm trying to, oh no, you don't need to get it. It's all right. That was it.
yeah, a lot of and the natives say hypnosis type of stuff, which is kind of like that. It's kind of a mind trick, right? A human hack almost of
It was
you
pretty
know.
pretty 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 cool, but not cool because I wish I could have got him on camera.
And what is
Then
that? Is that like paranormal magic stuff, or is that like uh, a learned evolved ability type of thing? That they're doing. They just again more questions than answers. Because
Yeah,
they say Bigfoot does that,
right.
aliens do that and stuff, right?
Oh, I got something to tell you. I remember when I was telling you, I don't know, a couple weeks ago about the video that I did, or the one on Turtle Man where there's something tree peeking in the bush. Have you seen that one? I know you've seen the one running, but have you seen the one tree peeking actually?
Tree
Popping his
peeking.
head out. He pops his head out, he ducks down. Pops his head out, he ducks down. He does it 4 times.
Not
There's a
recently, then.
So I actually went onto Reddit and I posted it or whatever, and I had like skeptics saying, "Oh, it's leaves," and so I was like, "Okay, come on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna have a show, and let's debate because I will prove to you there's an animal, whether it's a whatever it is, I can prove to you it's an animal. It's not a leaf." So one of the guys actually ended up coming on after I waited for like 2 hours. I was sitting there waiting, just showing other people like what it was, people that were just kind of like in to look at it, not debaters or anything like that. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying like debate is the best way, but sometimes you have to be proven. And I feel like some people just they have to see all the information through your eyes. So that's why I do it. So I go and I show them through my eyes every little breakdown that I can live. And one of the dudes was a anthropology like nerd, and he was like a real like grammar, or he called himself a logic Nazi. So he's one of those Reddit people that are just like the worst people on there. They just shoot down anything that you have, and like, oh,
Right.
and he came in coming to like make fun of it, and then it happened to him. He's seen it. He's like, dude, I don't know what the hell that thing is, but it's behaving intelligently, and he admitted it. And it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, so it's just there's a lot of evidence out there. When actually people start looking, they can't deny that what we're getting, what people are getting. I mean,
Yeah, dude, you
it's
have
not.
amazing footage. Like yours reminds me of the Bigfoot is pissed video that Robert Dodson had. You know which one I'm talking about?
It shakes the bush or whatever in front of them.
Oh, it popped its head out like 5 times. It throws rocks at him. It gets behind him when he chases it down. It whoops,
I don't
and
know. I
then
don't know if I've seen that one actually.
well, the eye shine, like it just reminds me of your video, like because he's watching and then he ducks out of the way. You know what I mean? They do that. They watch you and then duck out of the way when you try to catch them. And yeah, so I would like somebody to explain to me, a skeptic, like what do they think your video is? That's what I'd like to do now is just talk with skeptics.
I've been trying, but yeah, I appreciate that. We try. I think it's decent. I don't think it's the best stuff, but like yeah, there's stuff out there, that should be looked at a lot more seriously. And especially with little people like us, we're getting the good stuff, and we're not getting the spotlight that's needed.
Oh
Everyone's
yeah,
looking at like Expedition Bigfoot that's out there with like 20 people, doing the camera stuff, and
yeah.
sitting in a blind and let's hope Bigfoot comes mess with us and stuff like that.
You know,
Uh,
I don't know.
not to rag it on, I appreciate what they're doing and stuff, and
Didn't they get
but
the
it's a
one
TV,
where it
it's
was
a
on?
TV show.
Yeah. It's one of those things, they gotta be entertaining, but I'm not here for the entertainment. I'm here for the real results.
I mean, that first whole season, that was a whole setup. The computer algorithm came up with where's the best spot in the whole U.S.
It was in
was that
Kentucky.
spot. Well, the first season, right? That was a dude ranch. With everything they went to was a landmark at the dude ranch. So like that mine, the little graveyard that they found, that was already stuff that they knew. So like all that was totally just pretty much hoaxed, faked.
Yeah,
Now the
that's
evidence and stuff may be different, but
Shannon, are you familiar with
it wasn't
my-
what they
Yeah.
said.
Are you familiar with the Robert Dodson and
Oh,
the Bigfoot's Piss video? It's one of the. I mean, I showed my cousin who's a straight up skeptic, even though I explained everything to him and showed him all the evidence that I've ever seen. And I showed him that one, and I showed him Blake's video where that thing is with the eye shine, and he's like starting to really question himself, like, what is that?
Oh, I haven't saw that one, but
you gotta
with
check it out.
Expedition Bigfoot, I tried to watch that, and then it went off whenever they said there was antelopes in Kentucky.
Really, I haven't seen the last two seasons. They literally said antelopes were in Kentucky.
Yeah, antelopes.
No.
What was it? Migrate patterns in Kentucky.
Are they talking about like the ones out west? Like what they call, sometimes they're called like little antelopes. They're not the African version, but we got a little like American, like what are they called? Like pie horns or something. Like they're little deer type of creature. They're not that very big. They're like out west in Texas
Like
and
down in like Mexico, like in the mountains.
yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a hunting show where they were hunting those things. I don't know what they're called though.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be in Kentucky, though.
That's weird.
There's one thing that I found interesting on the Expedition Bigfoot was with Mariah Mayer, because she found an undiscovered lemur, and all the lemurs are in like Madagascar. You guys are familiar with that?
Yeah.
Probably.
That's that small deer we're talking about. Yeah.
And they had like said they found DNA of a chimp, and it just matched a chimp like exactly or something, like the
right.
What is it? The new DNA, like not autosomal but environmental DNA, and it's just like it's just kind of weird, and it's like, well, maybe that was actually a Sasquatch, but your technology is not good enough. It's very early for environmental DNA. You know what I mean? I don't know. That was one thing that I thought was good. But then they're like, well, no, it was probably obviously a chimp that, somebody had in the zoo that freaking went into the sticks and that,
That's surviving out in Kentucky.
That
they just happen to come across.
If you read the actual, I think it was the zoologist or primatologist or whatever that wrote the article on it, literally said something like that. And I was just like, wow. All right.
Well, I mean, we share DNA with them by like 98% or 99% or 99.8 or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
What if, I mean, who's to say? A lot of people think that when it comes back as human, it's because they're Bigfoot's so closely related to human that it looks like human.
I imagine they are very close.
But that results is odd. Or it could be a cover up, maybe it's just, contaminated.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they found there's wild chimpanzees out there. Out in Kentucky that survive winter. That survive winter and rainstorms out there.
Yeah, it literally the primatologist in the review was like, I think what must have happened was there was a chimpanzee there recently. Literally, that's what they said.
Well, I mean, you can own exotic animals in Kentucky, right? You can get a chimp, I think.
I've heard, but it's not a lot of people have.
No, you gotta get permits.
It's just so random.
It's not common.
But you guys got to check out that Bigfoot is Piss video. You won't be disappointed. I'm telling you.
What's it
Yeah, I
on?
might have seen it. I'm not good with sometimes with people's names associated with what video and stuff too, but
He's a old country guy from Texas, and he swears like a sailor, and it's hilarious. But that guy, he was good. He rests in peace. He's gone, but he's got a lot of good stuff. Like I really went and looked at his archive, and he was really probably
well,
the
if he's
best.
older then I probably have seen some of his stuff.
I'm sure that
but
you have. I'm sure that you have. But I
it's
really
a
think
shame. There's a lot of
quite amazing.
stuff from like early 2000s and stuff, researchers and stuff that was going on when the internet, like, first coming along. The Bigfoot on the internet was going on, and all these new websites and stuff. And the BFR was pretty much just going online, getting new. Like Mitchell White, I think his name is, or Wyatt. He was studying the Mongolian monster over in Arizona. He was on Finding Bigfoot and stuff. He has a famous video of. He has some a couple of videos, but it's Bigfoot opening up a cooler and stuff. And
Yeah,
he has
there's
a lot
some-
of good stuff too.
there's some
And
crazy-
He's passed
yeah.
a couple of years ago, but
There's some crazy stuff on there. I do actually like to go onto like Reddit and find like old stuff, and I like to find the skeptics and say what they say it is, and figure out why they think it's that, and challenge them and say, what animal do you think it is? Then if you're gonna be like super, like you're a know-it-all about it. Let's hear what you got to say about it.
yeah, I always hate the animal comparison of, oh, it's a bear. We have black bear here in Michigan. Oh, it's a black bear. Down where like you seen the little people out and stuff. There's no black bear there. That'd be on the news.
Right.
When they are found down there, they're on the news. Everyone looks
Yeah.
at them. They're the tourist attraction, pretty much, right?
Right. Most people just think I'm full of it when I tell them little people. So I mean, I don't really know. There's nothing I can do to convince other people. But
Yeah, it was a
my
badger or
truth.
something, like, right? Like the animals act certain ways. Animals don't do what Sasquatches do. Okay.
Right. And
If
no,
if you see a Sasquatch standing there, and if it was a black bear, you probably wouldn't recognize it, or it probably let you know, or you would hear it
Right,
move out of the
right.
area,
right.
or give you
The-
warning aggression sounds.
Yeah. The one on the Turtle Man Bigfoot one that I when I proved it was an animal to this other skeptic, he's like, well, I think it's a bear or a deer, and that's pretty much it. Well, this thing is literally literally jumping out of the bush, and then snatching its body down. You know how they tree peek. They come out and then duck, and then come back out and duck. He's like, oh, it's a deer bobbing its head, or it's a bear, and I'm just like, dude, I don't think
A
so.
deer just chilling out right there watching them, maybe, but
Yeah.
they run away. Bears typically run away, or if they're that close, they're not running away. They're probably gonna let you know to stay away from them.
Right, but the one skeptic that was actually like the meanest one was actually ended up being a cool guy, and when I talked to him, and he recognized, well, this is, this, I don't think it's a bear, I don't think it's a deer, it's behaving intelligently. He started finally like really looking at it through my like eyes, kind of cause the way I explained it and the way I was looking at it, and he's like, you got something, I don't know what it is. So it's just one of those things where there's some evidence out there, If you look hard enough,
There is.
it's like what could yours be? Like your evidence, what could it be? Like there's a light, you can clearly see the light. It's like, however many feet off the ground, and it's going, moving. What could it be?
Which one? There's the one at camp that moves pretty abruptly, and then the one me and Jason encountered. Yeah, I mean there's no other animal besides Sasquatch that was doing all of that from our encounter.
Yeah.
Announcing
Mhm.
themselves, scattering, and showing themselves, and
Yeah.
and Jason's, and then the one to the right, it crawled across the trail, and Jason's seen it, and you can see
Yeah.
on the encounter where he's filming himself, he's talking, he looks, and you can see his whole system is like rebooting in real time. He just cannot believe what he had just seen.
He's
You
a
just
total
see it.
skeptic too. Like early, like, or not like a total skeptic. but
He jumped a couple points on that towards believing.
Oh yeah.
Because he
He
said
was
his
tripping.
spider crawled. It's scared. His spider crawled across the trail into the woods.
Oh,
I didn't hear
heard
it. You didn't. I mean, we heard things. We heard it, but it's not like
I would
I should
be
be able to hear
mortified.
something like that,
I would have
right
been
there. We should be able to
mortified.
hear it. It should be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we hear it. Stop right there. It's right there. No, like it's ninja did its way into the woods, and
Yeah, they're like ninjas.
so there was definitely there was 3 at least,
I believe
maybe
it.
more, and there was most intense interaction, close interaction, and I seen the face of the one, I seen the head. I mean, that's
Oh, that's
almost
bad.
as good as you can get seeing them at night, unless they were closer.
He was saying he's seen the whites of its eyes and everything. I was like, oh dang, you know.
Well, you
'Cause
see
he
the eye.
just
Yeah,
had-
it was. I mean, it was
and he's
close.
looking at it.
It
He's
was.
like, it's looking at me. I see its whites of its eyes.
It was.
Look.
Like 40 feet away from them and stuff. It was very close. The other ones were like 60 feet, 40, 60 feet. I mean, they were close.
Right.
They were not that far.
Right.
We just
Yeah.
had crappy lights, and the IR on the camera did not pick it up.
Hey, at least you guys got it on camera, though. You know. Like
We
that was-
thought, we were filming it. We were trying. We were standing right there, but that's when we tried to get closer because it was like, all right, and I go first. It's like I want to make sure it's not like a raccoon or some stupid thing, right?
Right.
And it wasn't, of course, but we got a little brave and we walked right towards them to determine, what is it, right? Everyone's like, go after it, go after it. Okay, well, let's walk to it. As dumb and as scary as it can be, sometimes that's what people want. So they played it cool, very calm, cool, and collective. They took the chance with the gun, announcing themselves. They must not have thought I was too much of a dick because they didn't think I was going to point the gun and shoot at them. If they thought I was going to do that, they probably wouldn't have done what they did.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they're damn self-aware. They seem to be.
And Jason was.
I wonder how just intelligent they actually are. I heard you guys talking about that
Yeah.
earlier. No one really knows, but just probably a lot smarter than the other great apes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, which great apes are very smart. I mean, Gorilla is the famous gorilla. What was her name? Coco. Yeah, she sign language and stuff. It would have been amazing to show her Bigfoot evidence or Bigfoot stuff to see what she thought or what.
Right.
Or I believe she has a son. She has. There's other gorillas that have replaced her and doing the same stuff. So I believe her son was learning and stuff. So it'd be interesting to show her videos or clips or who knows.
Maybe sounds.
Sounds, yeah, sounds and stuff.
Maybe they'll recognize certain vocalizations of.
Well,
maybe
they
Sasquatch
lived in
Mac-
captivity all their
don't
life,
know.
so they really know. But it'd be interesting to get their opinion on it, I guess.
Right. It'd be interesting if
So.
Sasquatch were actually in Africa still, like if they actually lived in Africa.
There's reports of them in the Congo, or
Yeah,
there's reports of other great apes.
The Billy ape.
We know
That's
the
a
Billy
real
ape, yeah,
Yeah.
just proven.
Yep.
Like 20 years ago, it was fake, and now it's real.
Yeah, I don't know how long they can keep the Sasquatch under wraps. It's coming out. You guys are getting evidence. Other people are getting evidence. I don't know. I would
they manage them. I don't know. Maybe they're disclosing UFOs. They're dropping more UFO stuff. So
yeah,
Bigfoot's probably not far behind.
Maybe they're doing the right thing, protecting them. I don't know. In the long scheme of things. But when you say that they're real, you're crazy. So you say you see them, you're crazy. Especially little people's on its own like frequency, man. No people that even believe in Bigfoot are like little people. Like what? What are you talking about? You just see kids.
It just what about the stuff that we don't even know about, the public doesn't know about, that they are like really keeping under wraps? Right. Natural stuff or creatures or underground stuff that they've discovered.
Have you
There's
actually?
Reports of... No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. There's Northern Michigan Bigfoot, that YouTube channel. Yeah,
I've seen a few videos. Yeah.
He actually told me that I don't know. It used to be like I don't know if he like dug oil or something, but there's all these tunnels underground. Like, I don't, he thinks that Sasquatch live down there. It's like 50 degrees year round down there.
He knows where they're at and can access them.
I'm gonna have to. I'm actually gonna go up there when I plan on going up to Grayling sometime this month, and I'm gonna go out for a day and do, some Sasquatch searching. And he asked me to come up and meet him, so I guess I'll do that. So I'll ask him then. He's got some crazy stuff going on his property.
Yeah, it seems like he's in a prime spot for them to, and on private property, which is the best if you want to take that chance to get interaction. So
they seem to like private property, Sasquatch. No,
it's safe. It's the safest because they don't have public influence, or even like DNR and stuff. Can't typically go on private property without. They do manage any marsh system. See, this is another thing: is all wetlands, marsh, and waterways are controlled by the federal government, which are prime Sasquatch habitats. So even if it's on your private property, they maintain it and control and do whatever they want, destroy it, whatever, make up some BS excuse.
Right.
Total. So, yeah, it's very very interesting.
Yeah, he's got some crazy footage. And I've even told him, like, man, that's not a hoax. You got some serious, like, good information. And yeah, I'm sure he's been contacted by like all types of like Travel Channel or whatever for some of his recordings and stuff like that.
Yeah, Michigan's a hot spot. That's a state that's kind of underrated. And
the first time I ever went Bigfooting is when I seen Little People, and that's the honest God truth. First time I ever went out.
Yeah, I love the state. I think there's a lot of stuff going on, and in other states, Kentucky's a pretty crazy state too. When I drove through it, it was all the hills and forest, and plus all the caverns and mines and underground tunnels
Kentucky's
and stuff.
Amazing.
It's like,
yeah, I feel like
I can see why Appalachia is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Do you guys want to even look at some of the videos that Go to the Forest Walking Path in West Branch? Oh yeah, I bet West Branch, Michigan. I heard
Shout out to the West
Michigan.
Branch West Branch, Michigan Conference hosted by Phil Shaw. They just had that today.
Oh really?
Yeah, really. Yep. It'd have been nice to go, but we're doing other things. So
yeah.
Actually, Phil does a really good spot. And West Branch is the Michigan capital, Bigfoot capital of Michigan. The town council elected it to be called that because of basically Phil Shaw's research of the whole area and surrounding counties puts it as smack dab in the middle of a berry cluster zone, basically, of others just reports all through the area and all surrounding areas, basically, and it leads to the Bigfoot Triangle and stuff, as we call it, which is a couple cities.
Isn't that like the Southwest? That's what, by Ann Arbor and like not far.
Oh no, it's up north still. It's more like Mayo area.
Oh,
that.
That's right. I confused. Yeah, I know where it is. That's where I'm going. I'm actually going to be in Grayling, which is like not far from there. Not too far. It's like 20 miles north.
And then you have you have a strip of it's called the Waterloo area, and that's basically a hot spot of all this area in Lower Michigan where it's seen in and around Ann Arbor.
Right.
And there's historic and BFRO reports.
So where I was at was only like 10 miles from Ann Arbor, Whitmore.
Yeah, north of that.
Yep. So
and there's a lot of sightings in there, and I've had encounters there. We've shot videos in there. You can watch full documentary kind of style videos we've shot, and they're everywhere in Michigan, it seems like, from up north all the way down here.
Right.
All the way to Florida and out to the West Coast. So.
Oh, there's a guy on YouTube. I don't remember his name or whatever, but he lives in Whitmore Lake, and in the winter, he's got really good tracks, Bigfoot tracks going all the way down like his driveway, and then like way down and back into the forest. big ass tracks. I wish I could find the video right now, but I would show it to you. It was in the winter and there's a lot of snow, but it was huge tracks, man. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean they're out there. Just gotta get lucky, and a lot of people come across and just like, it must be bunny rabbit in the snow or whatever, something hopping through, something other than Bigfoot.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right. Well, I think about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think it's probably about a good time to shut the stream down for tonight. Yeah. So yeah, next weekend I don't know if we'll be doing a live show. Maybe I might jump on just before I go out or after and stuff to let you guys know stuff. But if I'm out in the field stuff, there won't be a live show. Maybe we'll have one during the week or something. But yeah. Frozen Northman's Keep. Where can we find your stuff? Obviously, you have a YouTube channel and stuff.
Yeah,
why don't you plug your stuff in?
It's just Northman's Keep. It says, I think it's one word, just Northman's. Just it's spelled the way it sounds.
Yeah, and you got Bigfoot videos on there, and you do some like video analysis of stuff that you've seen with Turtle Man and stuff, so people can check that out. And you definitely have an eye for spotting stuff. There's no doubt about that.
Appreciate it, man. The little people were right out in the damn open, though. I didn't even have to. That was an easy one. Yeah.
All right, Shannon, where can people find your stuff in your group?
On Facebook, Eastern Kentucky Bigfoot Research Team.
Yep, that's right. And pretty awesome Facebook group. You guys are pretty friendly and tolerant and stuff. And of course, don't take any bullcrap from bullying. But if you guys want to know what's up in Kentucky and stuff, it's a pretty good spot to hang out. And of course, you guys can find, of course, here at the YouTube channel. And also, you guys can email me at that email. Also, you can find me on Facebook at the Lost Cryptids Conservatory Facebook page. You can message me that way, too, on Facebook. It's a little bit quicker than the email. I've actually had problems with this email hiding and not giving me notifications and stuff until days after, so I'm not sure what's going on with that one. Here is the other personal email you guys can use that's more reliable that I use for my personal stuff. That's Blake .44 Dodge, as in Dodge 440, a big black motor they used to make for muscle cars. I love muscle cars and stuff, so that's little insight there. But message me on Facebook and stuff. I'm usually posting and hanging out, and I appreciate everyone who joined to watch the stream. Everyone who's going to watch it after the fact. I appreciate everyone who interacts and stuff. It makes this better. We try to get the evidence for the public, for you guys. Try to do my best. I'm nothing but a pretty much average person, just going out there and trying to get something. It's not really nothing too magical. So appreciate everyone who listens to this and supports us. So without further ado, guys, we appreciate you. We'll see you guys soon, and hope you guys have a good one. Take it easy.
Good one, yeah.
Bye.